Wine. It's simply crushed and fermented grapes. The variations in the stories are what make it so fascinating.
As an AVA, I started just learning that it's such a diverse AVA. There's so many microclimates and terroir. I just felt like it was a good choice.
The climate, the soil, the amount of sun. There are so many varieties of grapes, and then different clones and different rootstocks. And perhaps even more important than any of this is the story of the winery, the winemaker, and the people who love these wines, their philosophies, and the different ways that they bring their reverence to the grape.
I met my wife in college, and her dad had this very successful large farm here. I thought I would be a banker or...
Our goal at Grape Chronicles is to explore and chronicle the grape, its many stories, and its journey from dirt to glass.
So yeah, it's good, and we've converted. The biodynamic conversion came about in 2007, and so now we've got 3 vineyards that are fully biodynamic and organic, and 2 vineyards that are organic. And we're, slowly adding livestock, mostly just chickens so far.
We met one of the chickens racing across the drive up there.
Our 62-pound turkey.
Oh, goodness.
We ended up with some turkeys in our chicken batch last year, and we didn't know he was a meat turkey, and you're supposed to not, keep those around, but whatever. He's a mascot now. He's very large, but we love him. So eventually we want to get some sheep, and every time you add stuff like that, there's infrastructure that needs to happen, and it's this sort of, but we like taking slow steps so that we understand it fully before going on to another step. Because always the most important thing is the grapes and the wine, and that's the lifeblood of this place, so that's what we need to focus on first.
Right, and every time you add something too, it changes your ecosystem slightly.
Yep.
So it also gives, I suppose, the property time to adapt to that new thing in the ecosystem before moving on.
Yeah.
I know that you're moving to native ferments too. How's that process happening for you?
It's been good. So the first wine that we tried to make biodynamically was in 2011, and that was kind of a flop. It's weird to switch your brain, and we're like, oh, we'll just let the tank go and it'll be fine, and no. So then we sort of read about these PA de cuves that they do in the vineyard, and I'm like, well, that makes sense because I have a bread starter I keep alive and healthy, and that keeps alive and healthy breads and ferments, and so I'm like, well, why don't we try this starter bucket idea, and that worked really, really well. So I've been doing that for the past 7 years, and it's if you don't have a healthy bucket, your wine's not going to be healthy. Pitch it, start over, and at least you're only wasting a bucket of grapes and not an entire tank.
Right.
But yeah, and I'm learning more about the fermentation kinetics are a little bit different with native ferments. You have to be more patient. You have to taste more. You have to, it's like you can't just say, okay, pitch the yeast. You're fine for. I mean, I taste everything every day, but there's this little more sense of worry with the natives. But yeah, the starter buckets actually, some of them are stronger and faster and cleaner ferments than some of my inoculated ones.
Wow.
So it's, I do truly believe that nature knows what to do, and as long as you don't get involved too much, it's probably going to turn out okay. So yes, I say my prayers to the universe, and we actually racked our white wine in January before bottling to spa music. So it was a little reductive, and I'm like, this thing is just stressed and struggling, and my cellar guys were like, what kind of music? I'm like, just like mellow spa music, and it was funny. So we racked it, and I had the before and after, and I was like, oh, this really worked.
Excellent.
And they were shocked. They tasted it, and they were like, I don't get it. Like, you gotta trust up there. Gotta say the positive things. So yeah, it's been more of a fun way to make wine for sure.
Yeah.
It's gotta just be okay with not having control and trusting nature's path, and
that's hard.
It is hard.
It's hard to really kind of pull back like that.
Yeah.